Hey guys, it's Rebecca. I figured I would record this because I look normal. I'm in full-blown migraine right now. I went and had IV therapy done yesterday. And thankfully they were offering time off from work because I feel like crap. But do I look like it? The biggest thing I hear from people that say, "Oh, but you look fine." You don't hear the ringing in my ears. You don't feel the throbbing in the back of my neck, the entire left side of my face, and the fact that my eyeball feels like it's trying to pop out of my head. You don't feel that. Most of the time, you can't even see it. The temple area, you can usually see if you focus on it or I get close enough. Or you can actually sometimes feel doing this. You can feel my head throbbing outside of my skull. But again, you can't normally see it. You don't see the lower back pain that I have, or that every time I stand up or sit down, both my knees are in excruciating, stabbing pains behind my kneecaps. You don't see that. You don't see the fact that I woke up in so much pain when I rolled over to slide my feet out of bed. I almost threw up on my nightstand. You didn't see that either. So I guess this is more of an awareness thing. You won't always see what is wrong with somebody. So don't draw conclusions about the fact that we look normal, because we're not. Like you can see the muscle here is all like pissed off and raised on both sides of my neck. It's because my head hurts all the way down to there, and it's literally like this on the inside of my neck. So my neck hurts. I have pain from here to here that's throbbing all across the back of my head. This entire side of my head, even my ear is throbbing right now. And of course, my left eye feels like it's trying to pop out of its eye socket. So, but I look normal. I look normal. But I'm in that much pain. And I can tell you, if I walk 2 steps that way and grab my Nurtec, it's only going to work. It's going to take about half an hour to work. And it's only going to work for a couple of hours and then quit. Because the new injection that I'm on, that Ajovy, doesn't work. It's not working for me. I need to go back to the Emgality, but because my insurance won't cover the Emgality without failing both Amavig, horribly failed that one, or the Ajovy, they won't allow me to go back to Emgality. So I spent $500 yesterday on an IV of fluids to help with the current migraine that I had. I felt fine when I left. I was awake until 4 o'clock this morning. The power went out at 4:30 and woke me back up. It was only out for a few minutes, but it came back. And then I had really shit for sleep after that, because when the power went out, everything, lights, switches, air conditioner, everything went click. And that little bit of noise right there woke me right up. Now, here it is, less than 24 hours after my IVs, and I feel worse today than I did yesterday when I got there. It also doesn't help that it's raining outside, and the little trickling and the rumble bumble stuff outside messes with my head really bad. So these are the things that a lot of people don't see on a day-to-day basis. And when you see me out in public, I act like I'm normal. It's called masking. I don't know how to not mask, because I live every day in pain. And it's funny, when I saw the pain specialist yesterday and he asked a few questions and he goes, "When does it not hurt?" I said, "When I stop breathing." And he laughed and he goes, "I can understand." It is painful for me just to take a breath, because every time I breathe, my chest hurts and my entire back hurts. Just breathing. The normal thing that you have to do to stay alive every day is painful for me. I have allodynia. So the fact that this is rolled up to here and it's starting to get tight, not only do I already have a bruise starting, yay, but just this band on my arm being rolled up, because I rolled it up because I was a little warm and this side itches, just that makes me hurt. And as you saw, I already have a bruise there. Look at this. See the bruise? There's actually 2 of them. That's just from me rolling my sleeve up. Again, I look normal. I live every day in pain. Every day. All day long. I wake up in pain. I go to bed in pain. And it's every fucking day. I used to play with makeup to make myself feel better because there's something magical about makeup that changes my perspective on things. But lately, because of the pain behind my eyes, touching my own eyelids, even with my own fingers, is painful. So I can't apply makeup like I normally do because of the fact that I can't stand to touch myself most of the time. So I don't know, I guess this is a PSA, bitch session, whatever you want to call it. This is why I'm not as active on social media and stuff as I was years ago when I was living with my dad, who was very abusive, verbally, physically, mentally. And I could lock myself in the bathroom and escape into makeup for a couple of hours and avoid him. But now that I'm in my own house and have my own stuff and whatnot, just walking out to the mailbox is difficult for me every day. And I usually take the dog with me so she can go out there with me. But I'm also terrified of walking out to the mailbox and then passing out somewhere along the way because POTS sucks. 1 minute I'm fine, the next minute my blood pressure's in the toilet, I'm on the ground. So it's like, again, people are like, oh, but you look so normal and you act so normal. I really wish I could figure out how to turn the masking off. And if somebody has any suggestions, I would be glad to hear it, because I'd love to just walk out of my house in the amount of pain that I'm in every day and actually look like I'm in the pain that I'm in, instead of putting up this mask every day to look like everybody else. I fight every day with my body. Every day is a struggle. And I have to remember my mindset is what keeps me from killing myself every day. Because every day I think about death. Well, maybe if I just died, I wouldn't hurt so bad. But then the rational part of my brain goes, yes, but Jason doesn't know where any of the legal documents are. He doesn't know any of the logins to get into anything for the house. He doesn't know who to call when the power goes out. He doesn't know any of that information. I do. It's all stored in here. And if I die, I leave all those complications behind. That's the only reason why I haven't killed myself yet, is because of those things. I feel like if I died, I'd be more of a burden on other people, which again is a psychological thing for me because I don't know how to not do that. So every day it's like that. Every day I wake up in pain. Every day I wish I would just not wake up. Every day I go to bed in pain and realize, okay, I've got this to do and this to do and this to do and this to do. And I'm awake for several hours in bed trying to get my body to relax, get my body to shut down just so I can get the rest of my body needs, all while fighting my own inner demons, just to exist another day on this planet where I don't feel needed, where I don't feel wanted, where I don't feel loved. And I'm tired of every fucking doctor that doesn't give a shit telling me it's all in my head, and that because I have a history of psychological issues between bipolar, PTSD, borderline MPD, all the other shit that I've been diagnosed over the year where a doctor just doesn't want to help you, they just want to slap a label on you. They're like, nope, you're just psychotic, don't worry about it. It's all in your head. And then they don't take the time to actually figure out what the problem is to try and fix it. And trying to advocate for yourself is hard because most doctors don't want to listen. They don't want to help you. They don't want to do the testing. I'm on Jason's insurance. It's really good insurance. I've cost that insurance thousands of dollars this year. Thousands. Between my surgery, between all the testing that I've had to do. I just did genetic testing for Ehlers-Danlos, which I was kind of hoping would, like, Ehlers-Danlos lumps in the connective tissue disorder that I have, the issues that I have with fibro, the POTS, the lax tendons, the hypermobility, all the other things that I have. It takes like 15 of my chronic illnesses and lumps them under one label. And I was so hopeful that I would just get diagnosed for it so that it would help me with disability and stuff. But I didn't have the genetic markers for it. So that's just one more thing that I'm like, okay, so if it's not Ehlers-Danlos, then it is POTS, connective tissue disorder, the fibromyalgia, the lax tendons, the this, the that, and the other things. It's all of those individual things which most doctors don't want to treat. They don't want to treat any of that stuff. A lot of doctors still think fibromyalgia is just a crock of shit. I was diagnosed with it in the 90s, and everybody's like, oh, it's the new fat disease. No, fibromyalgia is usually brought on, in most instances, based on a traumatic event, a horrible traumatic event that your body is permanently traumatized over. I was sexually, physically, and mentally abused for the first 14 years of my life, almost daily. Causes problems with your brain, which then causes your nervous system to like freak out about everything. Literally, it can't handle things, and it just absolutely goes nuts. I could sit here and just do this, and next thing I know, my leg is hurting just because I'm doing this. Because my body doesn't know how to differentiate between one and the other. And heaven forbid I stub my toe on something, because then my entire leg is on fire for like 2 weeks. It's the little things like that people don't see. People like me go through every day, and they think it's all in my head. And they act like it's all in my head. Then they treat me like I'm psychologically damaged. Well, I am psychologically damaged. I will always admit to that. But I think what hurts the most is when people dismiss me. And I said, hey, I'm going to need some extra time to whatever. And then it takes me longer to stand up or to walk or to bend over or whatever. And then everybody's like, oh, are you okay? And they're like trying to help you and pick you up. I'm like, I live with this every day. Some days my legs work, some days my legs don't. I don't know until I get up that day whether or not my body wants to function. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. That's so horrible. I hope you get better. My number one reply is, I have a chronic illness. I will never get better. There is no cure. I will die with this. And they're like I have hurt their delicate sensibilities. Dude, I have a chronic illness. A chronic illness. Do you know what chronic means? It means I live with it every fucking day. I have a chronic migraine syndrome. Chronic. I have 20 migraine days a month minimum on any given month. 20 migraine days. Is it a new migraine every day? I don't know. Is it the one I had yesterday that just rolled over into today? Probably. If there's no nausea involved with it, then I usually think it's the same one over and over again. And I really need to get better about documenting what is one thing versus what is something else, because of the fact that, and I've seen these like the Bear app or whatever that costs money after like 7 days, and I could get it. I have the money to pay for it. I'm too cheap to buy it. Because doctors like to know information like, when did you have your last bowel movement? What did you weigh today? What did you eat? Fuck, I don't know what the fuck I ate. Like, unless I physically make myself sit down and write down, yesterday, 2:30 p.m., peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches and barbecue chips and water. Unless I physically do that every day when I do something and I have to stop right then and right there to do it, because ADHD, I'm going to forget in 5 seconds. Like, I literally can walk from one room to the other and completely forget life. Like, literally, it's that bad. And it's like, but 2 weeks from now, I'll remember it perfectly. I'm like, really? So again, daily struggle with my own body, daily struggle with my own mind, daily struggles with all the shit I deal with. But look, yes, this is my nightgown. I look normal, right? I look normal. I can stand up, I can move. I didn't say anything about how painful it was to stand up or the fact that my left foot is throbbing right now, and it's, you know, it's not like it's asleep, but the entire side of my foot is throbbing and my heel hurts and the left side of my leg is burning now because I stood up on it. I didn't explain any of that. And you can't see that because I look normal. I look normal. I want to get rid of this. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that I went from 131 pounds to 205 pounds on a medication, trying to control the body aches and pains and all that shit. And I have the rest of them on the counter. So I have to redo my pills. I have bottles and bottles and bottles of medication. Bottles. But if it's not working for me and it's fighting against me, like the Savella they just gave me, I'm not going to take it. I can't go back on gabapentin because it literally made me balloon. I can't get rid of this last like 40 pounds because it's not been 6 months since I stopped taking it. Because gabapentin, aka Neurontin, can stay in your system up to 6 months, sometimes even up to a year, depending on how long you were on it and what type of dosage you were on. Gabapentin worked fabulously for me until I was about 35. And then after 35, my body started freaking out about it. So I can't take it like I used to. I used to be on 800 milligrams 4 times a day. Did it help with the fibro? Yes. It was amazing for the fibromyalgia. They're like, oh, have you tried Lyric? I said, yes. I was on it for 1.5 years. It rotted my stomach, made my hair fall out in handfuls, and I had to get put on Effexor XR to counteract the fact that it was rotting my stomach. They're like, oh, sorry to hear that. But now Savella is the new thing on the market. But do you know what happens when I take Savella? It feels like I've been swimming in the ocean for 10 hours. My entire body hurts. My entire body is fatigued. Doing this, which is painful on any given day, is amplified by like 100. Do you know it's painful for me to take showers? So I usually only shower every other day. Plus I don't really go anywhere. I stay in the house in my pajamas all day. So it's not like I'm really getting dirty. If I do leave the house, I shower when I get back because cooties. But the Savella made me feel worse when I was on it. I couldn't function. I couldn't even think straight. My vision was blurred. My muscles were fatigued. It felt like I had lactic acid buildup the entire time I was on it. I have an entire medication bottle, almost slap full of it. I took myself off of it. I'm not going to punish my body because it's punishing me every day, but I'm not going to make it worse. And doctors don't understand that. And other people don't understand that. They're like, well, don't you have meds you can take? Yes. Yes, I do. Do you want the one that makes me feel like I've got bugs crawling on me, or the one that makes me feel like I've worked out too hard at the gym or I went swimming in the middle of the night while I was trying to sleep? Or do you want the one that's supposed to help with the jumping, kicking, crawling bugs on my legs that makes me feel like I'm going to vomit like everything I've eaten in 5 years every day, because every time I take the medication, it does that to me? Or do you want the medication that I take because my iron is low that makes me unable to poop for like a year? But then you have the other medication that I was taking that's supposed to help with that problem that makes you double over in pain with cramps and gas. It's so bad. Oh my God, the gas is so bad. It like literally kills your nose hairs. But then you cramp and it's worse than any period I've ever had. And I had menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea when I had periods. So I had heavy, painful, excruciating periods. This is worse than that. They're like, oh, why don't you try Miralax? You take Miralax and you take Miralax and you take Miralax and you take Miralax, and it doesn't work. So then they gave me another medication that looks like green sludge, and it tastes like that Australian Gold tanning lotion smelled like in the 2000s that we used to use to tan, because we thought that's what we should be doing, is because everybody was brown and everybody wanted to be brown because brown is beautiful, and brown is beautiful. But when you go to take 30 milliliters of this green syrup sludge that smells like Australian Gold, number one, the first thing you want to do is gag it all back up because it is thick. It's worse than Karo syrup. But then the horrible gas and cramps that you get because it's a laxative that you get from taking that medication, because one medication that's keeping you alive is keeping you so that you can't poop. You take a medication to help with that, and it's so much pain, and you literally just kind of sit there like this with a heating pad and you rock yourself. Hang on, double nose. That it's, allergies are fun. It's one of those things that, okay, do I take the medication that does, after 4 doses, help me go to the bathroom, but I'm in excruciating pain taking it, and you're supposed to take 30 milliliters of this shit twice a day. And every day you take this medication so you could go to the bathroom. And I'm like, every day. So I have one medication that makes me nauseous, but it's supposed to help my legs, which it does help my legs. It's great. But it makes me nauseous. And I take one that helps me poop that makes me nauseous and cramp like a son of a bitch. Then you take another one that helps with the widespread overall pain, inflammation, irritation that your body goes through for fibromyalgia. But then it feels like I've been working out at the gym too hard, and I did arm and leg day all in the same day and an entire core workout. So then your muscles are fatigued, your body is strained, and you've got all this other shit going on with your body now, on top of the other pain that you already had, just from a medication that's supposed to help with that. And then you take another medication because your iron's in the toilet and it brings your iron up, but then you can't go to the bathroom. So then you're backed up and you can't eat, and you don't eat like a normal human. And I barely eat 1,000 calories a day, but yet I have this. I look like I'm fucking 6 months pregnant. This is awful. I hate this. I hate this. I hate that one medication does one thing and one medication causes all these issues and stuff, and you have to take 15 meds just to get one medication to work. It is awful. There needs to be a better system. And the United States is shit for healthcare. And if you find a doctor that actually gives a shit, keep them. I don't care if you have to drive 8 hours to get to one. Find a doctor that will actually fucking listen. Do you know how hard it was for me to find here in Georgia all of the doctors that I have right now? And do you know most of them are ARNPs? They're not even actual doctors, they're registered nurses, because a fucking doctor wouldn't give me the time of day. So, this is really turned into a rant. See, this is what happens when your head hurts. I'm starting to cramp, and I really feel like shit today. But it's like, I keep seeing all these posts about, oh, it'll get better, and I hope you feel better. And every fucking day I have somebody tell me, I hope you get well. I'll never get well. I will literally die feeling like this, because there's no cure for me. So, mind your words when you speak to somebody that has chronic illnesses, because some people might not be as nice as me, and most of the time I try and be nice, but I'm the bitch that will cut your head off and like throw up in it and put it back on your shoulders, because I get so tired of people going, it'll be okay, it's not that bad. Bitch, I want you to live in my body for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that's all I ask. 10 minutes. And you can just go sit in a chair. Have fun with that, by the way. Sit in one chair for 10 minutes inside my body with how I feel, with everything that I'm going through right now, for 10 minutes. And when you're done with that, come back to me and tell me if you think I'm gonna, get well. Do you know how many times I've offered for somebody to take over my body for one day or an hour, a minute? Do you know how many people turn me down for that? Because they don't realize until I blatantly spit it out, everything I go through every day. And they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, me neither. Me neither, but I'm here. I'm almost 43 years old. I've lived with this disease over 20 years. And only now am I just now starting to get help for it. Because in my 20s, most doctors treated me like I was a fucking plague. So I'm at 25 minutes. I'm going to end this because I really need to go sit down because I feel like I'm going to throw up. And hopefully this will give you some perspective on what it's like to live in my body every day. And maybe next time somebody says they have a chronic illness, you'll think twice about your words. Because you don't know what we're going through. We may look normal. Other people may look normal. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their thoughts are. You have no idea what kind of life that they've lived. And I may put my shit out there on the internet, but I only do that, number one, so that other people don't feel alone. And two, they know that somebody else is going through something similar to them now. And if I can help in any way, education, experience, past medication reviews, any of that, I'm willing to help. Because I find that the medical community here in the United States is really shit, and they don't want patients to know what's what. They want to leave us in the dark. Our insurance companies don't want to pay for shit. And most of the insurance companies are owned by Big Pharma, which is why they push certain medications on you instead of others, like the ones that actually fucking work. And then you spend months arguing with them over appeals to get medication that actually worked approved, like me. So I'm going to let you guys go. Leave any questions or comments down below. This will probably go up in multiple locations. I'll probably post it on Instagram and Facebook first, and then it'll end up being a YouTube video. Because Tay asked me for a rant video, a real talk with Rebecca, and I guess this is it. So Tay, here you go. She's like, I really like your perspective on things and how honest you are. Well, you're not going to get anything but honesty with me because I'm just going to tell you how it is, because that's how I am. But anyways, now my right foot is having problems, and I really need to go sit down because I've been standing too long, and I feel like I'm going to pass out now besides throw up and, I'm cramping. So yeah, I see you later. Bye.